is a gorgeous spring afternoon at Globe Life Park in Arlington. This afternoon, your Texas Rangers take on the Cleveland Indians. And welcome into the finale before the opening. That would be the last Ranger spring training game with Tom Grieve. I'm Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Saturday afternoon. Tom, Derek Holland getting a start this afternoon. Maybe more important for a pitcher in his position than it is for the rest of the players to finish up.
Yeah, I think he's a real important part of the Ranger overall team, Buzz. There's no doubt about it. Last year, the Rangers won the West without Yu Darvish, without Derek for most of the season. That's not an easy thing to accomplish. The good thing is Derek has been healthy all spring. He feels great. His fastball is getting better and better as the spring goes. In addition to that, last two spring starts, the numbers have been there. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last two starts. Nice start for him today. Really catapults him into the season with a lot of confidence, because when you look at him as the third, fourth starter, whatever he is for the Rangers, his success during this year could pave the way for the Rangers to be a successful team.
Well, Holland looking to get into the middle of the ballgame here this afternoon. Rangers looking for their 18th win of the spring. We'll come back to Globe Life Park with the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this on TXA 21. Hours from right now here at Globe Life Park. The Rangers come into play this afternoon. 17 wins, 14 losses, and 1 tie in the spring. And Jeff Bannister's ball club trying to win for the 18th time. That would be the most in a season, tied for the most in a spring season since they moved to Surprise, Arizona for their spring camp back in 2003. And this has been a very good offensive club this spring, up among the league leaders in virtually every offensive category. It's been a very consistent offensive performance, and the Rangers all of a sudden now too kind of getting the pitching going on the upside. The Rangers come into play this afternoon with a team ERA of 4.78, and while that might not seem like a whole lot for the regular season, when you play in Arizona in the spring, anything under a 5 ERA is considered very, very good for springtime pitching numbers. So Jeff Bannister's ball club, health has been the big thing, and they have been a very healthy club. Derek Holland feels good about what he's been able to do, especially the last couple of times out, and we'll see if he can carry that over here this afternoon, kind of pick up where he left off after 4 shutout innings his last outing. And Derek, of course, one of the big keys to the Ranger ball club and the Rangers starting rotation this year. And the Rangers taking the field now. Derek Holland on his way to the hill in this Saturday afternoon game. He'll be facing the Cleveland Indians here this afternoon. And Tom, what's that Indian lineup look like?
Well, they're going to start off with their center fielder, Rajai Davis. Jason Kipnis will play second and bat second. Fine young shortstop, one of the best in the business when you look at young players. Francisco Lindor bats third. Mike Napoli will DH. Carlos Santana's at first base. The catcher is Yan Gomes batting sixth. Ex-Ranger Marlon Byrd will play left. He's batting seventh today. Juan Uribe is the third baseman, and in right field is Colin Cowgill.
And that lineup facing the 29-year-old southpaw from Newark, Ohio. That would be Derek Holland. And last year, Derek just 10 starts for the second straight season. Very limited duty, a 4-3 mark last year. The ERA of concern to Derek, though, at 4.91. He said, that is not me. He said, that's one thing I want to get down and get it consistently down in 2016. Holland limited to fewer than 25 starts the last 2 years combined. So he is looking to get back out there and be a contributing member for the Texas Rangers. Derek figures to slot in that fourth position in the rotation, primarily so that Colby Lewis can break up the left-handed trio of Cole Hamels, Martin Perez, and Derek Holland. The only right-hander right now in the first four for the Texas Rangers, that would be Colby Lewis. So about ready to get underway. The Cleveland Indians coming in at 17-12-4. So they have matched the Rangers for springtime victories. They are both tied with those 17 wins for the most in the Cactus League this year. And Derek Holland is high for ball one. Rajai Davis, one of the offseason acquisitions by the Cleveland Indians. Veteran outfielder, and figures to slot in somewhere up near the top of that order, especially against left-handed pitching. Terry Francona has Davis in that leadoff spot as the pitch is fouled back. And Tom, you were talking to Jim Rosenhaus, one of the radio broadcasters for the Cleveland Indians, and he said that everybody is fairly confident this ball club for Cleveland is going to be improved over what they saw last year.
Well, the one thing that Cleveland had last year, and they have again this year, is a deep, talented, young starting rotation. That's probably the strength of their team. They've got a tremendous young developing star in Francisco Lindor, their shortstop. Outfield might be a little thin. They don't look like a top-of-the-line offensive team. But with their starting pitching, they'll be competitive.
Hanser Alberto handles Rajai Davis ground ball. That is out number one. Yeah, you're talking about a starting rotation that employs the strikeout better than anybody in the American League. They go through opposing lineups, punching people out right and left. And we'll see one of the top young pitchers today, Danny Salazar, hard-throwing right-hander that will face the Rangers here this afternoon.
Yeah, regardless of how they're throwing, they've got the kind of rotation that when you go to play the Indians, whether you go there or whether they came to your home, when you look at who you're facing, whoever the three starters are, the hitters don't go, good, I've got a chance to lunch up on this staff. You go, wow, I got my work cut out for me. These guys are tough.
Yeah. Jason Kipnis is that fastball that spins him around inside.
One of the things they won't have starting the season is Michael Brantley, their all-star left fielder, center fielder, wherever you want to play him. He's on the disabled list. Hopefully he'll be back for the Indians fairly soon. But he is really one of the best players in the American League. He does everything well.
And a fastball right down the middle. It is 2-1. Derek Holland working for his last time in the spring, and he figures to be on about a 60-pitch limit here this afternoon. That seems to be the magic number, I guess, for starters their last time out. Got him on the fist, and Odor will take care of that. 2 gone.
Well, good start for Derek. A couple of weakly hit ground balls. One with a changeup, and that one with a fastball that jammed Kipnis, got in on his fist with it. Buzz, I think one thing that stands out as you look down to the field, as we look down to the field, that might be the best shape this field has ever been in. I was down on the field before the game, and it almost looked like AstroTurf. It's so perfect. And now up here looking down, looks even nicer. Magnificent.
Dennis Klein and his group, boy, they are really magicians with the grounds crews.
I don't think there's one thing that they could have done to make that look better than it does right now.
Francisco Lindor picking up right where he left off last year in a hot smash that Alberto, with his great hands, able to knock down and get the out. So 3 ground balls. The last one a little bit sharply hit, but Eric Holland and company will take it. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Rangers coming up in a scoreless ball game. Tom's going to tell you about the Rangers starting lineup.
Rougned Odor leads off for the Rangers this afternoon. Shin-Soo Choo is second. Ian Desmond, the left fielder, hits in front of Prince Fielder, who's DHing today. Mitch Moreland bats fifth. Elvis Andrus is sixth. The catcher, Robinson Chirinos, is seventh. Hanser Alberto gets the start at third base, and batting ninth is the center fielder, Delino DeShields.
In that lineup, we'll be facing the 26-year-old right-hander Danny Salazar out of the Dominican Republic. And Salazar really coming into his own last year, a 14-10 mark, a fine ERA of 3.45, and 195 strikeouts in just 185 innings. One of those power pitchers that the Indians have stocked up on for their starting rotation and for the bullpen, as a matter of fact, and take it down that far. Rougned Odor, excuse me, starting things off. That is shallow center. It's playable. Rajai Davis for out number 1.
Yeah, one other observation as you look down to the field. Danny Salazar, one of the few players in the big leagues today that wears the old sanitary socks with the socks, the stirrup socks to go with it. I don't see many guys wearing that style anymore with their pants up, showing the stripes on their socks.
Trying to remember.
Throwback to the old days.
Yeah. We saw somebody in spring training this year, I think, wore that.
Did they?
Yeah. Pants pulled up knee high. And Shin-Soo Choo taking ball 1. Choo falling off a little bit of late, but having an overall good spring at 297. Rangers as a team mentioned up among the league leaders in spring batting average, a 302 mark. Club led the Cactus League in runs scored with 190. And they also hit 40 home runs. They got off to a very slow start home run wise, but picked it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Choo. High in the air to right field. That is playable as Colin Cowgill drifts back. Halfway back on the warning track. That is out number 2. Choo just getting under that ball a little bit. Looks like he Got the head of the bat out to it, but not quite centering it up.
Yeah, he got a good pitch to hit, took a good swing at it. You're right, Buzz, just got underneath it a little bit. Hit that one today at the warning track, and then on Monday hit a little more solid going the upper deck.
There you go.
Don't waste it today.
Now, Ian Desmond. Desmond has really been a marvel to watch during spring training. Man came over from the Nationals club and an all-star shortstop. The Rangers decided they were going to sign him to play left field. And he has picked up that and center field extremely fast.
Yeah, I think when you watch him go after a fly ball, you expect to see someone who has never played out there go after a fly ball tentatively, reach up with both hands. With him, he goes after it, reaches up one-handed, catches it confidently like he's been playing out there his whole career. And I guess the telltale sign for a guy that's serious about making a position change is when you read about him going down to the minor league part of the complex and fielding balls in minor league batting practice. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. So that tells you he's pretty serious about getting better.
Yeah, going out and shagging balls every opportunity he had. He made his own opportunities.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And every time he talked to Jeff Bannister the last couple of weeks of spring training, he marveled about not only picking up left field, but being able to play center field too. And he said that, you know, a guy that can play major league shortstop probably doesn't have too much he can throw on his plate that he wouldn't be able to do pretty well.
Yeah, and Buzz, I think when you've got a guy like him with his speed, athletic ability, and his throwing arm, if he looks pretty good in left field, he's going to be able to play center field. I think it's almost easier to get a jump in center field, the way you can see the ball come out of the pitcher's hand and the way it comes off the bat. I think you get a better read at it in center field than you do in left field. So he's got the tools to play out there. I don't think he'll have a problem adjusting there. A lot of room out here in center field and left center field in our ballpark, but he has the speed to cover it.
That's inside and low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, and I don't want to give the impression that everybody that plays shortstop can play in the outfield at the major league level. And all you have to do is look at Hanley Ramirez with the Red Sox, and you understand why he moved back over to first base.
He shouldn't be playing shortstop now either. You know, he's reached a point in his career where his tools aren't playing like they used to.
Now Desmond works the 2-out walk, and first base runner of the game goes to the Rangers. Desmond at first, and Prince Fielder coming up. Yeah, there were some times last year watching Hanley Ramirez try to play left field in Fenway Park. I was worried about his well-being.
Yeah, he was lucky to be in Fenway where there's not a lot of room. But even though he doesn't have the, the tools and the athletic ability that he used to, he did look at times very shaky out there.
Prince Fielder turning on the power of late. He's got a couple of home runs, a .302 average for the spring. Prince with 6 RBI. You might look at the Rangers starters numbers especially and say, wait a minute, these guys aren't driving in runs. They're not. You got to remember that the starting guys especially have not had a lot of at-bats for spring training. And most of them, what'd you say, between 40 and 50, Tom?
I'd say most of the Ranger regulars are between 40 and 45-ish, right around in there. A couple of guys have more than that, the younger guys, but the key Ranger offensive players all have somewhere between 40 and 47 or 8 at-bats.
So that's not going to give you all the opportunities to drive in runs that you would expect. Prince with 98 driven in last year, and you can bet that come Monday, given the opportunity to drive somebody home, he's going to do it. And the count here, 3 balls, no strikes. Last 11 ball games, you mentioned Fielder turning up the heat a little bit. 379 the average. Taken all the way, which is a spring rarity, but it's 3-1. Very delightful afternoon, a 65-degree Saturday afternoon here at Globe Life Park. Gentle breeze drifting out toward right field. Way inside, back-to-back walks now. There are 2 aboard for Mitch Moreland. That was the 21st pitch of the first inning for Danny Salazar. Salazar, who had a couple of easy fly balls to start things off, then back-to-back walks to Desmond and Fielder.
And last year, Salazar walked less than 3 per 9 innings, so he's not a guy that generally has control issues.
Yeah, nearly a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio last year.
Great.
Mitch Moreland, another one of the Rangers that has caught fire of late. 195 overall average does not tell you how hard Mitch has been hitting the ball lately. He has 3 home runs and 9 RBI this spring. You got Desmond out there at second, Fielder trailing him at first. Rope base hit to right field. Desmond being waved around third will score without a throw. And Mitch Moreland gets the Rangers on top. His 10th RBI of the year. The Rangers lead the Indians 1-0.
And that was a hard hit ball too. That was a very solidly hit line shot into right field. Cowboy has a pretty nice arm out in right field, but the ball got to him so quickly. By the time he got it, he was way out in right field. No way he could make a throw that long to have any shot at it. Good look at what Mitch saw from that fastball and what he did to it. Ripped it past Carlos Santana.
I don't think Mitch Moreland has ever seen a fastball he didn't like.
No, and seeing him hit it like that gives him a good feeling too going into the season. You mentioned he's been swinging the bat well toward the end of spring training, swinging the bat very well in that at bat. So in spite of the fact that it's spring training, I think most players like to feel like they're in a pretty good groove going into the season.
Now a run across, 2 out, 2 on for Elvis. Andrus, 366, couple of RBI. Elvis batting 6th in the order today for Jeff Bannister's club. Salazar not able to get together with Yan Gomes for the next pitch to Elvis. Well, the Rangers able to make Salazar pay for the back-to-back 2-out walks. Mitch Moreland got the RBI hit. And Salazar, who was very quick getting the first couple of outs, now about ready to throw his 25th pitch of this first inning. So it's turned into a laborious first frame for him. Lindor goes the short way, and that will do it. But the Rangers, with 2 outs, get a couple of walks, a base hit by Mitch Moreland. Will go to the second inning. Rangers 1 and the Indians nothing on TXA 21. youngsters having a great time. Got their gloves. They're all set. And Derek Holland has been given a 1-0 lead with which to work as he goes out for the second inning. He'll face the middle third of the Tribe order, Napoli, Santana, and Gomes. Holland, overall, this spring, making his 7th start. We mentioned the last 2 times out, Derek has been very good. He worked a total of 10 innings. Did not give up an earned run. And a 5-inning outing against the Cubs that he shut them out on 4 hits, and then pitched against the Dodgers last time out. Gave up 6 hits in 5 innings. No earned runs. He did give up a grand slam home run in that ball game, but an error made all those runs unearned. And former Ranger Mike Napoli takes strike 2 from Holland. Napoli, of course, former battery mate on occasion of Derek Holland. The Indians bringing over Mike Napoli, signing him as a free agent. Elvis can't come up with that on a short dive, and it's under his glove for a base hit. So Napoli, who figures to be the Indians' first baseman the majority of time this year, has a leadoff single. First base runner against Derek Holland. Now Carlos Santana coming up.
And Nap's a great addition to the Indians. Looked like Elvis thought that ball was going to come up a little bit. The ball hugged the ground all the way and ended up going underneath his glove. Even though he slid, that was a ball that he was able to get to. Just wasn't able to make the ball meet the glove.
How much do you think the experience of playing on those rock-hard infields down in Arizona has to do with a play like that?
I'm not sure, but it probably takes some getting used to. I guess you could get a bad hop on this infield, but looking at it and being down there, I don't know how you can get a bad hop.
Fouled off to the right side. No balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Santana.
One thing you don't see nearly as much here is a ball hit in front of home plate bounce into the outfield. The dirt in front of the plate is much softer here. And the grass is probably a little slower than the grass in Arizona as well.
0-2. Foul ball. Andrew Alberto is all set to go around the horn with that one had it been fair.
Alberto's had a really nice spring. He had to beat out Pedro Siriaco, who also had a great spring, but he's played all 4 infield positions. He's played first several times, naturally a shortstop, but has the ability to play defensively well at all 4 positions, and he's hitting too. Had a great offseason in the Winter League, Dominican Republic, and he's pounded the ball in spring training too.
It seemed like those two were neck and neck for a lot of the spring, and it wasn't. I don't really think it was cleared up until Ian Desmond showed the ability to play center field, and the Rangers didn't have the need any longer for Siriaco's ability to play the outfield as a backup position player.
Right.
Yeah, kind of tipped things in favor of Hanser Alberto. Both of them hit over 400 for the most of the spring that they had.
Yeah, given the opportunity to play a middle infield position regularly in the big leagues, he's there right now. He doesn't have the opportunity here, but he's played well enough in the minor leagues, well enough in winter ball, and showed enough in spring training where if there was an opportunity, he would certainly be well deserving to play regularly.
Holland has only 1 play and he drops it. Now the only play he has is to pick it up and walk back to the mound.
Yeah, it wasn't a simple play, but a relatively easy play. Derek was trying to get in position to throw the ball and couldn't come up with the ball. So a ground ball that sneaked under Elvis's glove for a base hit. And this ball by Santana, who's maybe an average runner at best, would have been an easy play if Derek was able to field the ball.
Well, that's going to go as an error charged to Derek Holland. Runners at first and second now. Still nobody out. Yan Gomes, the catcher, will step in. Gomes last night had one of the 4 Cleveland home runs. Gomes with 6 home runs for the spring. That was tops in the Cactus League. 0-1.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Gomes hit 21 home runs in the big leagues. He had numbers a couple of years ago, pretty much just like the numbers Salvador Perez put up last year for Kansas City. Spent some time on the DL last year. Didn't duplicate that year. Looks like he's on his way, though, the way he's hitting spring training. Derek's thrown a number of changeups today, probably 4 or 5 of them, and they've all had pretty good results.
Yeah, that's something that that changeup is something that, by Derek's own admission, he'd gotten away from a little bit. I remember when he first came to the big leagues, that changeup was his primary off-speed pitch. It was a weapon that he used a lot.
I think most pitchers, most hitters, when they look at a pitcher, the one thing that can make a pitcher extremely difficult is a guy with a good fastball and a good changeup. It's tough to counteract that 10 or 12 mile an hour difference from a pitcher with a good delivery where you can't pick it up. Curveball, slider, great pitches, but changeup can be a real equalizer.
That one's hooked foul by Gomes. Still 1-2. Yeah, I think you're seeing more and more young pitchers today too, Tom, being taught that that fastball changeup combination from as soon as they start pitching.
Yep.
Learning the fundamentals of pitching, and that seems to be a very big part of it. Instead of trying to throw breaking balls and split-fingered fastballs and all that stuff.
Yeah, get back to the basics.
Yep.
Tough to beat a good fastball with a good changeup.
Still 1-2. You know, we were talking about Siriaco and Alberto, the battle they had during spring training, and Alberto winning out in the final outcome. The Rangers made their final move today, and Cesar Ramos was sent down to AAA, and he had the option, I guess you would say, of declining that if he chose to. And he has decided to go ahead and accept that assignment. He will start the year at AAA. And yeah, I know the Rangers have to be very happy about that, because it was difficult for them not to keep Ramos on the big league roster. He's had a lot of big league time and a quality left-handed pitcher. Phil Klein is going to be the 8th reliever. Good pitch down and in by Holland for a strikeout of Yan Gomes.
Yeah, I think when you look at Cesar Ramos, take a look at the strikeout pitch. Like a slider down and in, well-located pitch. It would be shocking if he's healthy all season long, if he doesn't pitch in Texas at some point in time.
Yeah.
Be great if the same 12 or 13 guys stayed healthy and you never had to make a change. That'd be perfect. But if you saw what happened to the Rangers staff last year and what happens to most staffs, there's reinforcements from the minor leagues coming back and forth all season long, and it'd be shocking if Cesar Ramos wasn't one of them. And I'm sure he pitched well in spring training, enjoyed his time with the Rangers, and feels the same way himself. Why change now when, if he goes down and pitches very well in AAA, there'll be an opportunity at some point in time.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Cesar Ramos, you're looking at the Rangers starting staff especially, and you've got 3 of the 5 guys on there that are coming back or not too far removed from significant injuries. So there's always a possibility you're going to have an opportunity to rise that way. That's not what he's hoping for, but certainly that possibility exists.
The Rangers know him. They saw him in spring training. I'm sure Jeff Bannister said to him when he left, "You pitched well enough to make the team in spring training. It didn't work out that way. I hope you'll go down and accept the assignment, pitch well, and then good things can happen." Another good changeup right there from Derek. 93 mile an hour fastball, 85 mile an hour changeup. Saw the result, the swing by Marlon Byrd.
You know, Marlon Byrd, an interesting acquisition by the Cleveland Indians. As soon as they found out that Michael Brantley was having significant problems as far as his ability to get ready for the season opener, they added Marlon Byrd, made a few adjustments, and Bird's going to fit in there. Terry Francona hoping, of course, that Michael Brantley gets back in the early part of the season, but there had been some speculation it may be the first part of May, if not even a little bit later for him. Marlon Byrd, a pretty good insurance policy. 2-1 the count. First and second, one out. Rangers on top 1-0. Derek Holland trying to keep it that way here in the second inning. Full count.
High fastball. Matched Marlin on that particular pitch.
Holland gets the sign that he wants in the payoff pitch. 2-ball down to Alberto, to Odor, back to Marlin. 5-4-3 double play ends the top of the second. 1 man left on a hit and an error. After 1.5, Rangers 1, Indians nothing. Come to expect, and there's also a new low price for this year. You watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in True HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.tv for details. Yeah, nice crowd on hand here this afternoon. Had a little over 18,000 last night. Looks to be at least that many here today, and they have seen the Rangers take a 1-0 lead to the bottom of the second. Robbins and Chirinos, Hanser Alberto, and Delino DeShields. And Danny Salazar, that good sharp breaking ball. And he's ahead of the count 0-2. Chirinos with those numbers for the spring. A home run, 6 driven in, 262 average. He is caught window shopping as Salazar nailing down the outside corner, his first strikeout.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a strike, but it was a tough pitch to hit, that's for sure. Amped up his fastball a little bit this inning. Last inning was 90-91. That one was 95 miles an hour. Right near the outside corner.
You put 95 out there, that's going to be tough for most people to handle.
Yeah, about all you can hope is that the umpire calls it a ball or you swing and you're able to foul it off. Generally speaking, you're not going to do much with it.
Yeah, and I think what you see in this inning from Danny Salazar is he made Hanser Alberto go down to a knee on that swing. You understand why Salazar had 195 strikeouts last year.
Wow.
And Alberto says, I'm not impressed.
He made me look bad, but don't throw me a fastball. 94 went right back at him, 94. That was a rope, a couple of ropes. Mitch hit one to right field, and this one is coming back at Salazar. Fortunately, he's young and athletic and is able to get out of the way of it.
Andrew Alberto said, get down, boy.
Man.
It's coming right back through the middle.
That was a rope.
Second Ranger hit of the afternoon. Alberto aboard.
Alberto was hitting 380 in spring training until that at bat. It's over that now. He's hit a couple of home runs to go along with it.
Now here's Delino to Shields. The Shields having a solid spring at 306, and you shouldn't read too much into the idea that DeShields is hitting ninth today and Odor is leading off. And Jeff Bannister said, I like to be able to get a look at guys in different spots just to see how they react and what they look like. He said it's a lot easier than just trying to figure it out with nothing to go on. Back-to-back base hits. Runners now at first and second, and the top of the order coming up. Delino taking a pitch the other way very effectively.
Yeah, looks like that's what he had in mind the whole way. Man on first base, hole to shoot for. There's some purpose behind that swing. He's not just up there swinging. He's up there thinking, okay, I've got a hole to shoot at. I'm going to try to go the other way. And not only got it through there, but did it with a solidly hit line drive, too.
2 on with 1 out. Rougned Odor up for the second time. You know, that's one thing that, Tom, that you were talking about there, the approach at the plate that has drawn a lot of praise from Jeff Bannister and the coaching staff. How hard the guys, to a man, are working on their approach, improving it, being consistent with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's probably not many teams, managers, hitting coaches that go to spring training and say, I really don't care about situational hitting, and I really don't care if we can get that guy in from third base with less than 2 outs or move the runners. Everybody wants to do it, but it's a matter of how do you go about it, how do you teach it, how do you implement it, how do you stress it throughout spring training to where you see big league players come together as a unit and work on it and do it. And that sounds like what the Rangers were able to do. I think everybody's trying to accomplish that, but it sure sounds like the Rangers are able to do it and accomplish it.
0-2 pitch. Fouled down. You know, and to me, you may have a different idea about this, but I think it starts with the veteran hitters buying in to the idea that that's important. And if you see the veterans doing it, then if you're a younger player, you automatically have to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it takes some sacrifice, too, because there's a lot of times where situational hitting is not necessarily going up there and trying to drive the ball in the gap and knock in 2 runs with a double. It might be going to right field and move the runner, and maybe you ground out to second base and you're 0 for 1. There's some sacrifice involved in it, too. It's not always going up there and trying to maximize that at bat with production. It's what does the situation call for? And when you read about the clubhouse unity, cohesiveness, that has something to do with it.
Lindor is going to take it to the bag and complete the double. Oh, nice, safe. And now coming around third, caught in no man's land, is Alberto. Odor able to leg the back into that double play out. It turns into a double play anyway, as Alberto caught straying from third. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. After 2, Rangers by 1. Enjoying the afternoon out here, and enjoying his club leading 1-0 as we head to the third inning. And have a very special guest joining us, Assistant General Manager Thad Levine. Thad, thanks for taking time to, I'm sure you're still settling into home after spring training, but thanks for coming up.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Sure.
It's a pleasure to be up here with you guys.
This ball club, the way that the spring has gone, I guess the things you talked about at the start of spring, number one was health. Mission accomplished pretty much on that.
Yeah, you know, we had those injuries right out of the chute with Josh Hamilton, with Tanner Schuppers, with Luke Jackson, but we were blessed that really as the spring progressed, we didn't have any significant injuries from that point forward. Unfortunately, Chris Jimenez had a little bit of an injury towards the end, but knock on wood, we really were blessed, and quite frankly, some of the guys coming back, Yu Darvish in particular, seems to be progressing on plan, if not a little bit ahead of schedule at this time. So similar to last year, I think we walk into the season feeling if we can hang in there for the first, 6 to 8 weeks, we have a chance to get stronger as the season progresses. We're going to get healthier. We got the next line of defense coming from our AAA group of prospects. That a team at the end of the season may look a little bit different than the one on opening day, and that we hope to be getting stronger as the season goes on.
You spoke about the second line of defense, that you have to be thrilled with the performance of 5 or 6 of those 6'4", 210-pound minor league athletes that you saw in spring training.
Well, you can't speak enough to what our scouts and player development guys have done. For a 5-year stretch there from 2009 to 2013, we were trading at the deadline. We were very aggressive to add to our major league club, and what we did is we created a bit of a hole in our farm system from a depth standpoint, and what our scouts have done to backfill that group has been exceptional. Our player development guys have gotten those guys and really taken them to the next level, and then as you guys can appreciate, bringing those guys to camp is one thing, but have them perform like they did is an entirely different one.
Right.
I think our major league coaching staff sees those guys now, believes in them, so too do our players, so that when they walk through the doors here, those guys are going to be excited to see them because they believe that they belong and they can contribute to the team.
Yeah, the first couple of games that Tom and I did from Surprise, it was amazing to watch the young guys come in, that group of Mazzara and Brinson and Gallo. And that's when the games got out of hand. That's when you guys ran away from the opposition.
Well, we were joking that we were crazy to send those guys out of camp. Our run differential was like plus 80 with the B squatters, the quote-unquote B squatters in the game. But yeah, that's when you know you're in a great spot from a depth standpoint, when the second wave of guys comes in, and by all accounts, it seems like you don't skip a beat. And that's taking nothing away from the starting 9. I mean, this is one of the stronger, more dynamic starting 9s that I think we've had. Josh Hamilton actually commented this spring. He said it reminds him of the 2010 team, where the guy hitting 8th is as capable of doing damage as the guy hitting 4th or 5th. And I think that's when you never let up on the opposing pitcher. And then, as we mentioned, the next wave of guys who are coming will come up and make major contributions as well at some point in the season. Who knows when we'll need them, but we all know we will at some point.
Great pickup too for the organization, Ian Desmond, a guy that not only from a physical standpoint, but boy, he has fit into the clubhouse. He had just picked it up and run with it, it seems like.
He's a dynamic athlete. I think that shows up every time he crosses the white lines, but what he's doing in our clubhouse is equally as impressive. I think he fits right in there with the leadership of the group. His will to win is significant, and it's shown up from day one. I mean, he literally in day one walked up to Rougned Odor and said, "How many bases did you steal last year?" And he quoted the number, and then he said, "What are you looking at for this season?" He said, "Well, I'm shooting for 25." And he said, "Shoot for nothing. Let's do it. You do it, I'll do it. We'll hold each other accountable." And I think that's the type of leadership he's bringing to the table every single day, and I think that'll only, help the guys around him become better players, and that's a mark of a true leader. And I think in Desmond's case, most of the time when you acquire a player like that late in the offseason to a one-year deal, they kind of walk in the door with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, maybe even a bit of a mercenary mentality, where they're just going to try to perform as well as they can, go back in the market, get the deal that they wish they had gotten the year before. He's been anything but that. He's a guy who is trying to prove to us that he's worthy of a long-term deal here. He wants nothing more than to continue his career playing the outfield for the Texas Rangers. So I think that's a very unique element that we brought into the clubhouse. We were very particular about that. We actually had a chance to talk to him multiple times on the phone directly before we actually signed him. And I think our comfort zone with him was enhanced incredibly by those conversations.
Rajai Davis going to deep left field, and that one's going to leave the ballpark. I haven't seen the umpires make they did now. No, a 3-run blast by Rajai Davis, his first home run of the spring, and just like that, the Indians have turned the game around. It's 3-1 Cleveland.
All those nice things about Desmond, I would like to have seen him catch that ball.
He was playing a little bit too low.
Well, we got a curveball from Derek that unfortunately stayed up and out over the plate. Davis was able to wait on it, hit it solidly. Didn't get out by much, but yeah, he would have taken good athlete to a new level if he's able to catch that one. George Springer might have caught it.
Yesterday before the game, Desmond, having not played the outfield here, had our outfield instructor Jace Tingler hitting literally every ball you can envision off the wall to see what the angles were like, and then I saw him stay out there for another 25 minutes just throwing the ball off the wall to see how the ball was playing off the wall. It was pretty remarkable, his commitment to trying to make sure he can accelerate the learning curve in left field here.
Now, Tom and I were talking a little bit earlier about the stories of him going over to the minor league side in spring training and shagging fly balls. You wouldn't see many guys, I don't think, make that kind of commitment.
And he did the same for Major League batting practice. Every time he was out there taking balls live off the bat, I think it's just a level of commitment that you see that he's taking this very seriously. He sees himself. He said to us on the phone, he said, hey, I want to give Alex Gordon a run for his money for being the best left fielder in the American League. And that's a heck of a combination to Gordon. I mean, we think he's one of the best competitive advantages defensively in the game. So too does Desmond. But so he's not taking this lightly. This isn't a one-year thing and he's going back to the infield. He wants to be the best outfielder he can be.
Lindor almost fallen down on that swing. Well, and the way this ball club is shaped up, Ed, we talked about the last move that you made today, Cesar Ramos being sent to AAA, accepting that assignment, which I would think is good news for you guys.
Oh, it's tremendous. You know, we had a spring which was blessed in the sense that we had a lot of guys who went out and won jobs. The reality is we had more guys who probably earned a spot on this big league team than spots that were available. I mean, Cesar Ramos had a tremendous spring. He's going to help our team at some point. He has the ability to come out of the pen, pitch long. He can pitch short. We actually was starting in spring training. He's a very versatile piece. He knows the AL West inside and out from having pitched in Anaheim the last couple seasons. Another guy is Pedro Siriaco. I mean, it's rare for a guy to hit whatever he hit, 440 in spring training and not make a club. But it just goes to show how well Hanser Alberto did in spring training that he actually beat out Pedro Siriaco. So we talk about our prospects in that next line of defense, but we also have a bunch of guys who came in here, believed in us as 6-year free agents, minor league free agents, who our scouts wanted us to really step out on. Those guys came in and performed as well. Those guys will help us down the road.
It really looks like Alberto, given the opportunity, is the kind of kid that if there was an opening to be a regular middle infielder, you'd be talking about how happy you are to have him as your regular shortstop or second baseman right now.
Well, you know, considering how good our infield defense is, I think this guy's right there with him.
Sure.
I don't think you're missing a beat when he plays shortstop, when he plays third base, and you know we've even seen him play some first base, and having zero experience over there, he looks like a veteran. You know, he's a very, very talented defensive player. 2 years ago, the defensive player of the year in the minor leagues at shortstop. And I tell you what, every time he plays, it seems to show up.
Yeah.
You know, he makes a difference-making play out there, and you know, with the way Bandy wants to run his team, his defensive versatility gives him a heck of a weapon coming off the bench. And you know, by the way, he's also hit pretty well.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of times, what you just described is a guy, and where you'll end up saying, you know, he's probably not going to hit very much, but all those defensive attributes make him worthwhile. With him, looks like he's right on the verge of not only being a good defensive player, but being able to hit too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he went down to winter ball and had a great offensive season down there, and he's carried that momentum into spring training. And then, you know, to boot, he also won the free throw shooting competition. So I mean,
there you go.
And did quite a bit of trash talking along the way to the crown.
All-American kids from the United States get beat up by Hanser Alberto and Elvis Andrus.
He let them hear about that.
I don't blame him.
I mean, I think what our fans are used to seeing him doing is celebrating after we do something good on the field.
Right.
Typically when he's sitting on the bench. So that energy level is so powerful for a team over 162 games. Have your manager have like a bit of a cheerleader on the bench who's keeping everyone's spirits high. Now the fact that he's also able to marry it up by going out on the field and making significant contributions, I think makes him extremely valuable to this team.
Now, was he a basketball player?
You know, the way he was shooting, I don't think that was the first time he'd ever played.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had a little problem in his first experience at Globe Life Park with that sky-high pop-up from Mike Napoli. It's probably going to go down as a base hit for Napoli.
You'd be surprised now going down to the Dominican Republic how many basketball courts are strewn throughout the country. So it definitely seems to be becoming more popular down there. But he certainly played up the fact that he was beating a lot of Americans along the way to the championship crown.
He took the trash talking right out of it, boy.
I didn't see. I'd seen some of the preliminary rounds in the final four that free throw shooting. Did he do a play-by-play while he was shooting? He's very, very good at that.
Very animated. There were a lot of high fives when he made it, and similarly a lot of high fives when the person he was competing against missed. He was an equal opportunity high fiver.
Chu calling off Falefa. He makes staggering around out there. Chu able to hang with it.
That was the best I got at Kiner.
No kidding.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa ever heard.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much.
We'll catch up with you during the regular season.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
3-1. Rangers trailing the Indians. Bottom of the third coming up.
My pleasure.
Ballpark tradition. It's Wednesday tradition. It's Wednesday, April the 6th. The first Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Day of the season. Get all set for that. Come on out to Globe Life Park. Last game of that opening series against the Mariners. You can enjoy all the Texas Chili Company hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Just go to TexasRangers.com and grab your tickets. And we want to remind you, a lot of good tickets left for the Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon games with the Cleveland Indians. Opening day, of course, a sellout. There were a few standing room only tickets left, but you want to come out Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon, you can grab a couple of pretty good seats. Shin-Soo Choo taking a pitch inside. Choo flied to deep right field his first time up. Three balls and a strike. Danny Salazar has a 2-run advantage with which to work. Rangers got to Salazar in the first after 2 were out. And the appeal down to third. Choo draws the leadoff walk. Ryan Cordell, speedy outfielders, taking over for Shin-Soo Choo. So as you will typically see, especially late in spring training, the regulars, a couple of at-bats, and they are given the rest of the afternoon off. Get themselves set for opening day. Desmond kind of got tied up on that swing for Salazar. Desmond drew a walk, scored the Ranger run back in the first inning. Good average. You saw the spring mark of .333 for Desmond. Off the end of the bat, down the first baseline, and Carlos Santana back to home plate for out number 1.
Little pop up, but not a simple play when you're back to the plate. Ball's kind of slicing back toward the foul line. Probably an easier play for the second baseman. But see the concentration. And he snags it.
So 1 gone. Chu, or I should say Cordell, remaining at first base. Here's Prince Fielder. Up the middle and into center field. Cordell using that good speed to motor on around to third. The fielder who walked his first time up, now 1 for 1 with that single to center. And his afternoon will come to a close. Ronald Guzman has come off the bench to take over for Fielder. Well, the hits in this ball game even at 4 apiece. Big blow for Cleveland Indians. The 3-run home run by Rajai Davis has made the difference in the run column. Mitch Moreland drove in the only Ranger run back in the first inning. His 10th of the spring. He has runners at the corners and just 1 out. Mentioned Moreland of late, turned up the power. 2 of his 3 home runs have come in the last week. Of course, Mitch last year setting career highs in both home runs and RBI at 23 home runs, tied with Prince Fielder for the top spot in the ball club. Two and nothing. Salazar back to the plate. And Mitch saw that fastball up and away, and his eyes lit up, but not able to get on top of it. Mitch, the Mississippi State product. And he takes a strike at the knees. 2-2. Mentioned the Rangers with 16 or 17 wins, I should say. They've kind of fallen on hard time. They started off at 6-1 in Arizona play, and they've gone 11-13 since. Right to the second baseman Martinez, who turns it into an easy 6-3 double play, and that'll do it. Rangers no runs on a hit. They leave 1 after 3. Cleveland 3 and Texas 1. Globe Life Park. April 27th is the last game. It's a 3-game series starting the 25th. Pack the park as the Rangers take on the boys from the box. Tickets start from just $19, and you can visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS to get your tickets today. Concessions. Fan favorites out here as Francisco Mendoza gets ready to work. Mendoza last year with Round Rock appeared in 32 ball games. ERA at 2.68. Opponents at 250, just over 250 against him. See Mendoza a lot in spring training. He's had an opportunity to work in several of the A ball games. He comes in here to face Yan Gomes to start things off. And Mendoza from a very nasty angle as far as a right-handed hitter is concerned, deals a strike. Nothing in 2. Mendoza with several defensive changes behind him. We will catch you up on those as the inning continues. One ball, 2 strikes. New first baseman Ryan Rua has come into the ball game. Rua's versatility, something that really helped him a lot make the ball club. That and hitting over 400 in the spring
that'll
didn't
help
hurt.
You too. Of course, Pedro Siriaco did that and still got beat out by Hanser Alberto, who pretty much did the same thing and more.
Outfield has changed, 2/3 of it. New right fielder saw Ryan Cordell come in as a pinch runner, and he remains in the ball game for Shin-Soo Choo. Delino to Shields has a bead drawn on that. And a new left fielder, Justin Ruggiano. New left fielder for the Rangers. Marlon Byrd will step in with the bases empty and 1 away. Byrd grounded into a 5-4-3 double play his first time up. Byrd, the veteran right-handed hitter. One and one now. A ball and 2 strikes. Indians have announced Marlon Byrd, of course, on their opening day roster. He has gone on strikes here. 2 gone, and Juan Uribe coming up. Mendoza gets his first strikeout. Uribe drew a walk to lead off the 3rd inning against Derek Holland, Rangers starter. That set the stage for Rajai Davis' 3-run home run after Colin Cowgill had singled to center. Talking about the Indians' opening day lineup, they're carrying 4 outfielders with Byrd and Cowgill and Davis and Naquin. Carrying 13 pitchers. Rangers, by contrast, carrying 12 pitchers, but for the first 4 days anyway, they are only going to have 4 starters among those 12. The broken bat looper. Kiner Falefa takes care of that one, and that'll do it. So Francisco Mendoza works a very tidy 1-2-3 inning. 3.5 in the books. Rangers trailing the Tribe 3-1. One run on 4 hits, only error committed by the Rangers here this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Elvis Andrus, Robinson Chirinos, and Hanser Alberto would be the first 3 Rangers to step to home plate. Talking to Elvis during the first couple of weeks of spring training, he still bristles when you suggest that he might be a veteran. He said, I don't like that word. That's makes me feel old. And well,
we won't call him old, but he is a veteran, whether he likes it or not.
He's a young veteran.
Yeah, young veteran.
Salazar goes to work, and Elvis a little tardy pulling the trigger. Yeah, Elvis playing all these years next to Adrian Beltre over there probably looks at Beltre like he's the veteran, and Elvis can't put himself in that position. But Elvis has as much of an influence, I would think, on Rougned Odor and maybe Hanser Alberto as anybody. One and two. Elvis, like a lot of the Rangers last year, got off to a rather slow start, and then all of a sudden the Rangers kicked it into high gear starting the 1st of August, and that took them through to the Western Division title 2015 and on to the playoffs. High chopper, and that's by Hankins, the new third baseman, out into left field. So Elvis aboard. And that's going to be a base hit for Elvis. Once Hankins started backing up, he was at the mercy of that ground ball. Had that overspin on it. Luis Marte has entered the ballgame to take over as the pinch runner for Elvis. Marte at first. And Chirinos down on the count now, 0-1. Robinson called out on strikes his first time up. Matter of fact, that was on 3 pitches, so he has been up twice now and seen nothing but strikes from Salazar. Long run for Calgill, but that's back and out of play. And the count moves to 0-2. The Rangers open up the 2016 season right here in about 48 hours from now. You will see Cole Hamels and Felix Hernandez. Seattle Mariners taking on the Rangers on opening day. 3:05 on Monday. That series continues with a 7:05 game on Tuesday and then a 1:05 game on Wednesday before the Rangers head on the road to start the road portion of the 16 season. Head to Anaheim for 4 and to Seattle for 3. Nothing and 2 to Chirinos. Jeff Bannister confirming today that Robinson Chirinos would indeed catch Cole Hamels on opening day. Little looper. Lindor knocks it down, and everybody is going to be safe. Well, that's not Lindor, excuse me. That's Martinez.
I think it's Medina.
Medina, excuse me.
You could try his first name.
Medina.
Medina. Looks like Yoshian.
Yoshian
Medina. Wasn't very a hard hit ball by Robinson. Medina almost made a nice play on it. Couldn't quite snow cone it though.
Did a pretty good job just getting to it.
Yep.
So it's going to go as an infield single or Chirinos. Now 2 on with nobody out. Andrew Alberto will be the hitter. Alberto and a solid line drive to center for a base hit his first time. That spring average, as you will note, now up to 392. One ball, no strikes.
And you might say in a spring training game, why do you worry about a sacrifice bunt? That's something you want to practice right now, because during the season, similar situation, that's what Hanser will be asked to do.
Yeah, situational hitting doesn't always mean swinging the bat.
No.
Pretty good butt down to third. That's going to get the job done. And the sacrifice is 5-4. Nice play by Hankins to make a pretty tough play to get Alberto. But second and third as Andrew Alberto gets the sacrifice down.
And those are the little things where the manager takes note. Like to see Hanser make all the plays in the field and get his base hits. But in the course of the season, the 2 or 3 times that he might have to do that, move men to second and third from first and second on a bunt, that could win a ball game too.
Well, nice job by Alberto. 1 gone, and Delino to Shields, who singled to right back in the second, will come up. Tying runs are on base for the Rangers. Chopper weakly hit a fair ball to third, and on 1 pitch, Delino to Shields gets jammed by Salazar and grounds out. Runners have to stay put. No, 2 away now. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will get his first at bat. Falefa this spring, a .273 hitter, looking for his first A-game RBI. 0-2. See, Danny Salazar now up over the 60 pitch mark at 63. Talking about the Rangers opening series. There's Cole Hamels and Felix Hernandez on Monday afternoon. Martin Perez and Hisashi Iwakuma will hook up on Tuesday night. That pitching matchup. Then on Wednesday afternoon, Colby Lewis and Wade Miley will be the principals for the Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. Mariners again almost revamping their entire team in the offseason. Making a lot of moves and trying to figure out a way to get things done. And Khalifa caught looking at fastball, and he is gone on strikes. Rangers get back-to-back singles to open the inning, but could not do anything with them. We'll move to the 5th inning. 3-1 Cleveland on TXA 21. Sponsored by Gaylord Golf Mecca. Visit GaylordGolfMecca.com to win a trip for two at America's summer golf destination. Keone Kela, 22, soon to be 23-year-old right-hander on the hill. Kela, of course, part of that Ranger bullpen, the late inning Ranger bullpen, comes out throwing high octane. They've got 4 guys down there that can light up the radar gun and punch out opposing hitters. And Keone one of them. Colin Cowgill leading things off. Cowgill had a single back in the 3rd inning, came around to score. 0-2 after the foul ball. Last year, all those uncharted territory for Keone Kela. 68 games and the 68 strikeouts in 60 1/3 innings. Pretty impressive for the young man. Walked only 18, ERA of 2.39. Got him swinging. Cowgill gone on strikes to open up the Tribe 5th inning.
Well, Keone's obviously got the great fastball. A lot of his strikeouts, a lot of those 68 strikeouts came on that pitch, that overhand breaking ball down and out of the strike zone that consistently fooled big league hitters. Tough to contend with that pitch when you know he's going to tune it up at 95 or plus. Buzz, from a couple of opportunities he had in spring training, it looked like Matt Bush might be right there with these hard throwing guys in the bullpen.
You're right.
Power curveball. You don't want to put pressure on him or anybody else. He's just basically starting after not playing for 3 years. He made quite an impression in spring training. See how he does in the minor leagues.
And that's the thing, Tom. Matt Bush is a 30-year-old, so he's got some catching up to do, but not a lot of time. And a nice play by Marte, a 360, and he shoots down Naquin.
He might have had 95 miles an hour on that throw to first base. I didn't think he was going to be able to get him. He got to the ball and then aired it out to first base. There's the 360, and he had some heat on that throw.
Well, in case you were just thinking that Brinson, Mazara, and Gallo were all that were available in the Ranger minor league system, check out Luis Marte. That's pretty good stuff. Jose Ramirez is the hitter. He has to duck under that fastball from Kellen. Yeah, but talking about Matt Bush, boy, a man that's very appreciative of the opportunity that he's had. I'm sure you all know about the story by now, that the time that he was forced to spend incarcerated and had the opportunity that he was given by the Rangers, and when he got himself back squared around, now trying to work his way as quickly as possible through the minor leagues and get to the big leagues. And he's a very determined, very grateful man to have that chance. Left center field was Brinson over to his right. And that'll do it. Keone Kela, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. A 1-2-3 frame. We played half the ball game. Indians 3, Rangers 1 on TXA 21. They are trailing the Cleveland Indians by a 3-1 count. Ryan Cordell to start things off. And getting his first at bat of the afternoon. He came on as a pinch runner for Shin-Soo Choo in the third inning. Cordell, very impressive spring, and if you didn't know much about him before camp opened, you found out an awful lot about him. A 348 average gets him on base an awful lot of the time, and he is a very, very fast man. It's amazing too that, and some of the Ranger coaches and Jeff Bannister marveled at the amount of speed that the Rangers have from pretty big guys in their minor league system.
Yeah, I think it's unusual to see that many big guys with that kind of speed who are those kind of athletes. And as Thad Levine said, it's a real feather in the cap to the Rangers scouting staff who found, scouted, and signed those guys. Not many teams have that kind of talent. And the thing about the AAA team is 4 or 5 of them are in AAA. A lot of times you'll see those kind of prospects in A-ball, and who knows if they're ever going to get to the big leagues. But these guys have played A-ball. They, for the most part, played AA, and now they're AAA knocking on the door. So in A-ball and AA, where sometimes prospects are weeded out, these guys have excelled, and now they're knocking on the doorsteps of a big league team. So many of them at the highest level, which is really unusual.
Two balls and 2 strikes. The count to Ryan Cordell. And Salazar gets his 3rd strikeout, 2nd consecutive. As he had a strikeout in the 4th inning, he opens up the 5th with a punch out, and Justin Ruggiano now will come up. Ruggiano this spring hitting just 190, but his power stroke has been in evidence lately. 3 home runs, 7 RBI. His status changed with the addition of Ian Desmond. His status changed remarkably, as a matter of fact. Ruggiano brought in with the idea of platooning with a healthier Josh Hamilton in left field. Of course, Josh went down with the bad knee, and Rangers went out, got Ian Desmond, and all of a sudden Justin Ruggiano was almost on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Here's Josh.
It looks like Danny Salazar is starting to get warmed up now. Started to pop that last one at 97 miles an hour. First inning was kind of so-so with a couple of walks and an RBI hit. Fastballs in the lower 90s. He's letting it go now.
And then he drops that off-speed pitch in there, and Ruggiano becomes the 3rd consecutive strikeout victim for Salazar. 2 outs, and Ronald Guzman with the at-bat. That pretty good changeup that Salazar throws.
He's throwing them all now. A nice curveball right there. Change up.
Throwing whatever he wants to for a strike and working quickly. Tell a guy gets on a roll, and boy, he wants that ball and he wants to go at it. Guzman, 500 spring average, 12 RBI. That's tops on the Ranger club. Another one of those guys that fits right in there with Brinson and Mazzara and Gallo. Big, tall, strapping hitters. Good defensive players, and they can all swing the lumber. One-two pitch. Got him swinging. Salazar strikes out the side in order. He is probably finished for the afternoon, but he'll finish with 4 consecutive strikeouts. After 5, Tribe leading the Rangers 3-1. 16th of April. We'll have a 7:05 game against the Baltimore Orioles. It's the first home weekend of the season. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older get a Texas Rangers pullover jacket. That's courtesy of Globe Life. Get yours at TexasRangers.com. Get your tickets. Come on out. A sun-bathed crowd here this afternoon. Temperature right around 70. Very, very comfortable afternoon. The last spring training game, last exhibition game for the Rangers. Have a workout tomorrow, and then it's on to the games that count starting Monday afternoon. Phil Klein on in relief. He will pitch here in the 6th inning. Phil, 11 games last year with the Rangers. 2 of those were starts. Remember, the Rangers went through a streak where needed spot starters, and Klein, one of the guys that had a couple of them. Phil vying along with Cesar Ramos for that last spot, and because of Phil's ability to work multiple innings from the right side, and the fact that he was on the 40-man roster already, that influenced the Rangers to give him that spot. That one's going to be out of play down the third base side. No balls and 2 strikes. Michael Martinez, a home run this spring. He has driven in 4. Now 1-2. Phil Klein last worked 3 days ago in a minor league inter-squad game. Had him stretch it out pretty well. 6 innings of work. Worked up to 72 pitches. And there was a thought at that point he was still in contention not only for the long relief spot on the Rangers, he and Ramos battling that out, but also as a potential starter at AAA Round Rock. So the Rangers giving Klein the last 2 times out, stretched out to more than 70 pitches. Check swing just off the outer edge, and the appeal to third said no swing. 2-2. And that one just missed. Full count. Klein at 6-7. It's a very easy motion, and that ball jumps out of his hand. Lewis Brinson tracking this one. Brinson handles the first out of this 6th inning. Now Jordan Smith will come on as a pinch hitter for Mike Napoli in that DH spot. And Knapp finishes the day 2 for 2.
Indians are probably wishing they got to open up in Texas. They're going back to Cleveland after this game. They open up in Cleveland, where it's going to be probably in the 30s for their game.
Yeah. So they're supposed to have some snow there tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess what's new, though, if you're playing Cleveland, that's what you expect in April, first part of April. You hope for better, but that's pretty much what you get.
Was it 3 or 4 years ago they had the first 2 series snowed out?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I know the Mariners, they had to move some of those games to Milwaukee later on in the season, playing in the Dome. It was a mess. 0-2 pitch. Klein rocks and deals. Got him swinging. Good fastball, and that's that fastball from Phil Klein.
threw it at 93, but it looked the way the hitter swung at it, looked like it's 96. It's that easy motion, and tough for a hitter to gauge it. Oh, 2 outs now. And Carlos Santana. Here's the breaking ball from Klein. Santana reached on an error in the second, flying to right in the third. And the vacated shortstop hole, and into center field for Santana, his first hit of the day. And that'll spell the end of the afternoon for Carlos Santana. You're going to have a pinch runner. Nelson Rodriguez is going to come out of the Indians dugout, take over for Santana. Roberto Perez, who took over behind the plate for Yan Gomes. A good spring, 289, a home run, and 9 driven in. And Phil Klein painting the outside corner. Klein, a fastball, slider, changeup. And he will change speeds on that slider a little bit. Make it more like a curveball, taking something off of it. Got inside on Perez pretty well, and Perez a very defensive swing, able to fight it off foul. Oh, 2 pitch. Just hung up a little bit high. Two and two now. Line a check of first. Ball is ripped foul down the third base side. Well, Perez turning on that Klein offering, just missed.
About 5 feet fair, halfway down there. You see it hook.
Klein ready for the 7th pitch of this at bat. Got him swinging. Elevated it. Perez didn't have a step ladder, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 left after 5.5. It's the Indians leading the Rangers 3-1 on TXA 21. Danny Salazar's afternoon has come to an end. Salazar worked 5 innings, 6 hits, a run. It was earned. A couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. He gives way to Trevor Bauer. Bauer out of Spring, Texas. 25-year-old. And formerly a starter. He figures to be a starter again, but numbers situation for the Indians. They have him in the bullpen now as kind of a long guy, spot starter down there. Bauer last year 11-12 for Cleveland. Ryan Rua getting his first at bat of the afternoon. Rua took over for Mitch Moreland and at first base and takes ball 1. Ryan talked about the great spring that he's had, a .411 average with 10 RBI and a couple of home runs. Two balls and a strike.
In 2011, Trevor Bauer was the 3rd pick in the draft. Traded after that, shortly after that, as a matter of fact. So he came in to major professional baseball, highly touted college pitcher. Great arm, 96 with that last fastball.
And Bauer originally the property of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just a year later, came over to Cleveland in that trade Tom was talking about. It was a 3-way trade with Cleveland, Arizona, and Cincinnati. And he misses outside as Rua draws the leadoff walk.
Yeah, if he's had one drawback in his brief major league career, it's been his control. He's led the league in walks, been among the league leaders in walks in a couple of seasons. He's had trouble at times zeroing in on the strike zone. No problem with the stuff, though.
Yeah, last year Bauer walked 79 in 176 innings, but he struck out 170, so it's almost all or nothing for him. And the first pitch to Luis Marte is in for strike 1. Marte came on as a pinch runner for Elvis Andrus in the 4th inning. Marte a .206 spring average. 0-2. Yeah, some of the changes here at Globe Life Park. Of course, the first thing I guess that strikes you when you walk into the park is the big new scoreboard up in, or I shouldn't say scoreboard, video board up in left field above the office building out there. Marte gone on strikes, 1 away. Nice because everybody in the ballpark now has a view of a video board. And one over there in right field. The folks out in the home run porch and the lower porch felt neglected. They couldn't see one. So Rangers obliged them by putting one above the left field office building, and that gives everybody a view of Chuck Morgan's fine work. Ouch. Ground ball to second. That's going to turn into a 4-6-3 double play. And Brett Nicholas out on the 2 ball, and that'll do it for the Rangers. We're going to the 7th inning. It remains 3-1 Cleveland on TXA 21. hit to the top of the 6th inning. Or the top of the 7th inning. New pitcher on the hill for the Rangers, the hard-throwing right-hander Jose Valdespina. Last season an A-ball. Valdespina, 2.25 ERA. In 32 innings, he struck out 26. This young man can get it to home plate in a hurry. You know, it's almost getting redundant to say that. Right-handers, very rarely do you see anymore that can't get the ball to home plate at 94, 95 or better. Valdespina, a big guy at 6'6", and he's listed at 248. He's out of the Dominican Republic. Just a 24-year-old, signed with the Rangers prior to the 2011 season. Along with his work at High Desert last year, 25 games. He also had 8 games at Frisco. Ocean Medina is the first hitter. One ball and no strikes. Three runs on 5 hits for the Indians. 1 run, 6 hits for the Rangers. Rangers have stranded 6. A couple of double plays have kind of put a crimp in their style. Valdespina all the way to the backstop. 3 balls, no strikes. And inside for ball 4. Well, Medina draws the leadoff walk. Todd Hankins now will come to the plate. Hankins, a couple of RBI, 231 average and limited at bats for the Indians this spring. There's a strike. 1-1. Hankins, a 15th round pick by the Indians back in the 2011 draft. And he takes strike 2. Hankins out of the University of Georgia, facing Jose Valdespina. Could get the breaking ball to bite the inside corner. 2-2.
Nice opportunity for a lot of these youngsters. All teams do it now to get a chance to play in spring training games. Back when we were playing, Buzz, it was very seldom that a minor league player would come up and play in a big league game. But now it's pretty much commonplace.
Yeah, especially late in spring training. You had no chance at all.
No. So in some cases, it's a reward for how hard a kid has worked and well he's done in minor league camp. Be rewarded to play in a big league game, and that's nice. for Ranger fans who went to spring training. It was a great opportunity to see all those players that we've already talked about with Thad Levine, all the young AA and AAA prospects that the Rangers have. They got 20, 25 at bats, a lot of them in spring training. So it was a great chance to watch them. And for the youngsters, before they go to their minor league team, to end up playing in front of 18 or 20,000 in this ballpark has to be a big thrill for them too.
Yep. Now Hankins got caught looking at a good sharp breaking ball from Val Despina.
I know some of the kids remarked in San Antonio that was the biggest crowd that they'd ever played in front of, and I think there might have been 30,000 there. It was a nice crowd in San Antonio. So to break up spring training and in the middle of March for a young kid in minor league camp to get a chance to fly on the team plane, that was eye-opening. Have your own seat, as opposed to having your own seat on a bus with 30 other guys traveling 8 hours to a minor league game. Quite a difference. And then play in front of a big crowd. It's a big thrill for a young minor leaguer to get to do that.
Now you always hear guys, managers and coaches talk about playing in front of a third deck, and I didn't really think about it, but that's very important. A lot of these guys never played in ballparks with 2 decks, much less 3.
One thing that has dramatically changed from the time that we played till now is the quality of the playing surface from rookie league to the big leagues. They're all superbly manicured, great fields. Obviously the bleachers and the seats aren't as great in the lower minor leagues. They might seat 5 to 10,000, but for the most part the playing surfaces are kept at near major league level everywhere. The lights are much better. You go back 30 or 40 years and you went to some of those A-ball teams, rookie league A-ball teams, and some of the lights you could barely see. And now there's strict qualifications throughout minor league baseball. Specifications the lights have to reach. And playing surfaces are very nice. Most minor league teams now have had new stadiums in the last 10 or 12 years. They play in beautiful, beautiful ballparks. But having a chance to play in front of 15 or 20,000 in a ballpark that holds 50,000, that's a little bit different. And it's a little bit different to walk into the clubhouse here too. That's eye-opening when you see the facilities that the teams have, the kitchen, the cook, the training facilities in the training room. Something to look forward to in a couple of years when you play well enough to get to the big leagues.
Yeah, if you didn't understand what the incentive was to make it to the big leagues and you walked into the clubhouse, you would very quickly.
Yeah. I remember thinking getting to the big leagues, man, can you believe getting whatever it was back then, $25 a day meal money?
Yeah.
I can remember an 8-ball getting $3 a day. Couldn't even eat at a fast food place for that.
Yeah, Medina had a big jump and able to swipe second base.
One thing that we learned in the minor leagues back then, though, is in every city where the buffet was.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'd be $3 or $4 and you go there and eat all you wanted. Steady customers were the minor league players in the buffets.
Payoff pitch coming to Miles. Maybe. Nope. Yeah, and then invariably there'd be somebody to invite somebody over for dinner, and guys would be asking him, hey, can we go too?
Whoa!
Oh, what a play by Marte.
Yeah, that's a second nice play. That might have been better than the first one. First one was an easy hit ball that he had to range to his left, do a 360 and gun it to first base to get it out. This one, spectacular pickup on a one-hop smash, and then that same arm strength coming across. He had no time to decide what he wanted to do on that, but he went down on one knee, caught it, and fired a bullet to first base.
Look at him. Say, oh, I've done that a million times.
Man.
No problem.
Pretty impressive out there by Marte.
Well, 2 outs with Medina staying at second base. Tyler Naquin, the center fielder, fouls that first pitch off. went a big spring. That helped him crack the 25-man opening day roster for the Cleveland Indians. No balls and a strike. Good breaking ball. 0-2. Jose Valdespina, probably not an easy guy to pick up for a hitter. He's a long-armed, long-legged right-hander that a little bit herky-jerky. Probably tough to pick that up. 20th pitch of this 7th inning. That makes it doubly tough when it's down to your shoe tops.
Coming at 94.
Yeah. The right-hander with the 2-2 pitch. Brinson got a good read on that, and he drifts back to make the grab. That'll do it. So the leadoff walk, no damage. One left aboard will take the 7th inning stretch here at Globe Life Park. The Indians leading the Rangers 3-1. Final game of a 3-game set with the Los Angeles Angels. And for that day, the first 7,500 kids 13 and younger receive a Prince Fielder wiffle ball and bat. That's courtesy of McDonald's. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS if you would prefer. A wiffle ball and bat for all you folks, all you kids anyway. Those guys will qualify. Jeff Manship, 31-year-old right-hander out of San Antonio. On now. Manship last year in 32 ball games. An 0.92 ERA. How about that? A little bit difficult to hit. And the first pitch of this 7th inning. Doug Bernier getting his first bat of the afternoon. Sawed him off. And Hankins throws out Bernier. One gone. So base is empty for Lewis Brinson in his first at bat of the day. Brinson, part of the trio of Ranger prospects talked about in the top 20 of all of baseball. Top 25, I guess it is. Brinson and Nomar Mazara, Joey Gallo. Impressive looking young man, and he can do an awful lot on the baseball field. Plays center field. He has the speed to do that very easily. A good arm and certainly power, a very good hitter. Pops this one up in foul ground toward the Ranger dugout, and it's just out of the reach. The new catcher, Lucas, Jeremy Lucas, back behind the plate now. Yeah, we talk about evaluations of young players. Lewis Brinson name comes up as being the most advanced of all the Ranger minor leaguers, at least the top level prospects, as being the best hitter at this point. And that's pretty high praise. I think I jinxed him. 2 gone. Actually, Manship jinxed him with that breaking ball.
Yeah, as good as the young guys are, they're still going to have some rough spots along the way, especially in games where they're facing a solid major league pitcher for the first time, throwing pitches they haven't seen before. But it's going to be fun watching the upper levels of the Rangers minor league system this year, watching all those young kids develop. Brinson, I believe, is going to go to Frisco this year. So Frisco will have, I think, Ronald Guzman along with him. A number of good prospects. Brian Cordell, of course, AAA will too. Be fun picking up the box scores every day and watching those two teams.
And you talk about the next wave of prospects coming for the Rangers. It might be a tsunami. I'm not sure if it's a normal wave.
Well, they've definitely built up a nice group of players to where if it gets to the trade deadline and the Rangers are right where they want to be, making that push for the postseason and to win the postseason, they have some chips if they need them to acquire basically whatever they need to acquire. It's not a situation where they might like somebody and a team looks at the farm system and goes, well, we really don't see anything that we can match up with. Not a team in baseball, if they're in the market to trade a veteran player in that kind of a trade, that can't find something they like in this farm system.
Well, Hankins made a great reaction play down there at third, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Manship. Rangers gone in order. We'll go to the 8th inning at Globe Life Park. The Indians 3, the Rangers 1 on TXA 21. afternoon on this April 2nd. Just 2 days away from opening day here on Monday afternoon, 3:05, the first pitch. Cole Hamels will deliver to the Seattle Mariners, and 2016 will be underway. Jose Valdespina had to throw a lot of pitches last inning, but was able to get out of it unscathed. Had a walk, a strikeout. Dealing to Jose Ramirez, who is 0 for 1. 2 balls, no strikes. Ramirez a fly ball to center in his only at bat this afternoon. Brinson, good break on this one, moving into the alley, gliding into the alley to make the catch.
You know, a lot of people have made the comparison at a young age that Brinson reminds them of Mike Cameron, who used to play center field for a number of teams, but we remember him a lot when he played in Seattle. Brinson might be a little taller than Mike Cameron, but the same kind of athletic body, gliding motion with the way he runs out in center field. Mike Cameron had pretty good power for center fielder. I don't believe he was ever an average hitter. Brinson might turn out to be a better hitter than Cameron was, but nice similarities there. Cameron was a very good center fielder.
Michael Martinez 0 for 1 today. Martinez having a .217 spring. And another one out to left field. Justin Ruggiano will get his first put out of the afternoon. There are 2 gone and a pair of fly balls. Now Jordan Smith will come up. Now you look at the guys that the Rangers have that are highly rated prospects, and they all draw comparisons to people that had a pretty good career at the major leagues. I don't think you get compared to somebody who stunk.
Yeah, they don't compare those kind of guys to utility players. Look at that move.
That is a great catch by Lewis Brinson, coming on and rolling as he made the grab. It's a 1-2-3 inning with a highlight reel play by Lewis Brinson. There is the Ranger future, a part of it, and it's a 1-2-3 frame. 7.5 in the books, 3-1 Cleveland. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they will be facing a guy who is a big part of the Ranger pitching hopes last year at this time. That is the left-hander Ross Detweiler. Detweiler, the southpaw, 41 games last year, 7 of them starts. They were all with the Rangers. He was winless in those 7 starts. Opponents hit a whopping .340 against him. And Ryan Cordell sends that first pitch out of play. It is 0-1. Detweiler getting an opportunity with the Cleveland Indians this spring. He has made their opening day roster working out of the bullpen. 0-2 now. Ross a couple times last year spun up a pretty well pitched ball game and had nothing to show for it. He was in one of those streaks. He did not pitch well sometimes, but he was in the kind of rut where even when he did pitch well, either the Rangers couldn't score for him or an error or two would hurt him. Ryan Cordell called out on strikes his first time up today. To right field, that ball hitting well. And Miles able to run it down right at the wall. Well, Ryan Cordell gave that ball a pretty good ride. But it is a long out number 1.
Home run yesterday, almost had a triple. If that ball gets over Miles' head in left field. Running into the shade, makes a nice running play.
One gone now, and Justin Ruggiano comes up. Ruggiano down on strikes as he faced Danny Salazar back in the 5th inning. Detweiler, the 4th pitcher used this afternoon by Terry Francona. Two balls and a strike. Rangers limited to just 1 run in last night's 9-1 defeat. That tied their low for the spring. And this afternoon, just 1 run. Miles drifting back on this one. A little bit easier play for him. 2 gone. Detweiler kind of angrily swiping at that. Apparently that wasn't exactly what he had in mind. But got the out. Here's Ronald Guzman. Detweiler last year, after when the Rangers signed as a free agent with the Atlanta Braves. 24 ball games down in Atlanta. He went 1-0, all of them out of the bullpen, but he had a 7.63 ERA. And that led to his release by the Braves in the offseason. One and two. That will even things up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Detweiler in the payoff pitch. Ronald Guzman just at the last second, that may be a little too close to take, so slap it out of play. Two hopper out to Medina. And the throw on to first. Guzman is retired, and Detweiler works a 1-2-3-8. We'll move on to the 9th inning at Globe Life Park. The Indians 3, the Rangers 1. Thinking about the Rangers destination package. It offers you a good chance to hit the road with your Texas Rangers. Packages include a first-class hotel, a meet and greet with a Ranger player, a VIP ballpark tour, and a whole lot more. Visit TexasRangers.com/destinations for the 2016 tour lineup. Jimmy Reyes, 27-year-old left-hander from Miami, Florida, into the ball game now. Reyes last year with Round Rock, 41 ball games for the Southpaw, and 5 of those in spot start situations. Rodriguez had 5 starts last year, 2 the year before. Those were the only 7 starts that he has had in 217 professional outings as a pitcher. Nelson Rodriguez leading things off. Rodriguez 0 for 1 today. Two balls and a strike.
That's a big league beard right there, Buzz.
I was gonna say, he may be from Miami, but he couldn't play for Miami.
That's right. They
Yeah.
no facial hair.
Yeah. Don Mattingly said, nope, we're changing that. He had to remind Jared Cosart the other day. Apparently Cosart came in and was pitching with a little bit of a scraggly, had him shaved too close, and Mattingly had to remind him. And Reyes going upstairs with a little high octane, gets the strikeout. Now Jeremy Lucas with his first at bat of the afternoon. One ball, no strikes. Facing Jimmy Reyes, who was a 2010 draft pick by the Rangers. Rangers got him in the 7th round of 2010 out of Elon University up in the Carolinas.
Had a teammate that went to Elon College, Dick Such.
Oh yeah.
Ended up being a pitching coach in the big leagues for a long time with the Twins. Dick was a graduate of Elon College.
Jimmy Reyes looks a little sinister out there with the stare that he has and the beard. Hits the outside corner. Pretty good changeup. 2-2. Now full count. Ray is the 6th Ranger pitcher to toil here this afternoon. Derek Holland started with the first 3 innings. Gave up all 3 runs on 4 hits, including the 3-run Rajai Davis home run. Francisco Mendoza, Keone Kela, Phil Klein, Jose Valdespina, and now Jimmy Reyes. In case you missed it earlier, Rangers finalizing their opening day roster with the last decisions made this morning. That's inside for ball 4. Phil Klein, it's the last spot on the bullpen, the 8th reliever that the Rangers will have to open the season. Cesar Ramos offered an opportunity to go to AAA, and after looking around and talking to a few people, Cesar said, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So the Rangers happy to have him available at AAA. Chris Jimenez, of course, the Ranger catcher, was hospitalized in Surprise on Wednesday. He had an infection in his ankle. They had to do a lot of work on him to figure out what in the world was going on.
Yeah, I don't know if Chris is able to watch, but if he is, Chris, we certainly want to wish you our best and hope you're getting that infection under control, get out of the hospital and back on the field.
And the last estimate, he was supposed to be able to release today at some point.
Good, I hope so.
Fly back to the Metroplex. Yeah. One ball, two strikes. And the two backup outfield / infield spots, Justin Ruggiano and Ryan Rua, both on the ball club to fill those spots. Hanser Alberto, the backup infielder, and Brian Holiday, picked up from the Tigers. Smashed by Bernier into left field for a base hit. Well, Medina with a walk and a single. 2 on, 1 out for Hankins. Todd Hankins 0 for 1 today. That base hit, just the 6th of the afternoon for the Indians. Both teams now with half a dozen safeties. Brett Nicholas putting down the sign for the double play ball. If he could have encouraged Hankins to swing at that, that might have been the double play. Fastball tailing away from him. 222 spring average for Todd Hankins.
There
we go.
One pitch later.
Yeah. 4-6-3, and the 2 ball is the thing that takes care of the Indians. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Rangers come to bat, trailing 3-1. We will have opening day for you, an opening day extravaganza. It'll all be on Fox Sports Southwest. It begins at noon with our coverage, a 3-hour pregame show. And then first pitch shortly after 3:05, the Rangers and the Mariners. So join us on opening day, whether you're out here at the ballpark or on Fox Sports Southwest. Don't miss any of the Ranger action. You know, the rally hats, trying to get those in vogue here in spring training. Got to get those in shape. Rangers need at least a 2-run rally. Tom Gorzolani, the veteran left-hander. Now on the 33-year-old out of the Chicago area. Orioles attended both the University of Kansas and Triton College. Not at the same time, I assume. Use up your eligibility in a hurry if you did that. Gorzolani last year, 48 ball games with the Tigers. He is a well-traveled southpaw. Signed with the Indians in December of this past offseason. And the first pitch to Ryan Rua is inside for ball one. Rua drew a walk in his first at bat today. Well, last night just over 18,000 in attendance. Here this afternoon 17,114. And I would imagine there'll be about another 38,000, no, 31,000 here on opening day.
And they say there are no seats, no standing room, nothing left.
So you better join us on Fox Sports Southwest. Find yourself a good seat in front of the tube and check out the Rangers as they take on the Mariners.
Yeah, if you're near a TV, you can do that and watch a lot of other games too. There's a lot of opening day games on TV. Baseball watcher's dream coming up next few days.
Three balls, two strikes. Yeah, matter of fact, opening day is tomorrow too. They had 3 games tomorrow. Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? I know there's a lot of them to watch. I don't know exactly who's playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
We were talking in spring training about Kansas City and the Mets. They play an opening series in Kansas City. They have 3 off days in 5 days. They had 1 originally, then they moved the first game up, which created an off day. They got back-to-back off days, I think it is.
Sharply hit. But Ramirez gobbling that ground ball up, and Rua's retired. Yeah, the Mets and Royals are one of the 3, I think, to play tomorrow. One of the 3 games tomorrow night. They wanted a rematch of the 2015 World Series. Those were the 2 that played in the World Series, weren't they?
Yeah.
I'm going to check myself here.
It's fun watching the odds makers. I remember talking about Kansas City last year after they'd been to the World Series. I can't remember what they were picked to win, but it was something like 82, 83 games, and they were completely disrespected. And even this year,
yeah,
I mean, they're picked to be a good team this year, but after what they've done the last couple of years, I don't know how you could bet against Kansas City this year.
Another one out to Ramirez at second. 2 gone. Now, is the Pacoda ratings, is that the one that?
Yeah.
They apparently the Royals don't impress Pacoda.
They don't have Pacoda going for them.
No, they can't do enough to progress.
They're doing something right on the field.
Yeah, they are.
They must have something that Pacoda can't detect.
Matt Cantwell getting his first at bat of the afternoon. 2 outs, bases empty. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was another rating like the Pacoda, but not that one, that picked him to finish 4th in the Central Division.
Wow.
This year.
Well, it's a competitive division, but I don't know how you could pick him to finish 4th. They've still got a lot of guys that have been there for several years, put up some nice numbers, good young players, high draft choices. You could make a case they haven't even reached their peak yet.
Cantwell, inside out's one to right field. That's going to be extra bases. He will pull in at second. Now he's going to third. And in safely. And the Rangers now will have an opportunity to bring the tying run to home plate. I would guess that's going to be a double and probably an error. Miles, the right fielder, had a little trouble corralling that ball.
Let's take a look. Slices it inside out swing down the right field line. That's one with a couple of outs. You definitely don't want to get thrown out at third base. Pat had to turn on the speed. So, well, I guess I better go. And now he's going, man, I don't want to be thrown out for the third out. He had to give it everything he had to get into third.
Yeah, they're just going to give him a straight triple, apparently. Doug Bernier pops the first pitch foul back into the seats. It's 0-1. Bernier 0 for 1 today. He had a ground ball to third back in the 7th inning. Rangers trailing 3-1. Tom Gorzolani, the veteran left-hander. It's a pop foul that will reach the seats. Well, the Rangers and Doug Bernier down into their final strike, and the skipper talking with Ian Desmond. Justin Ruggiano over there, and a little bit of baseball experience in that threesome right there. Oh, 2 pitch.
Evan Grant said to Justin down on the field before the game, has anybody ever told you you look like David DeLucci? And he said, yeah, a lot of people have. And he does. His face is a little thinner than David's, but there is a resemblance between the two of them.
And another pop foul. Rangers now with 7 hits this afternoon. They've out-hit the Tribe 7-6, but Cleveland, on the strength of Rajai Davis' 3-run home run, had that 2-run lead. Slicing and just into the seats. Miles over to take a look and ran out of room pretty quickly. Yeah, there's a souvenir. Spring training or not, that works. There'll be a story to go along with that one coming up pretty soon. Another 1-2 is on the offing. And another foul ball. Well, Bernier able to work this count rather lengthily. This is the 7th pitch now coming from Gorzolani. Hanging tough. Two and two. Gorzolani from the set.
Doesn't want this big league experience to end.
No.
Get his rips in.
He has seen 9 pitches in this at bat already. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patrick Cantwell down at third. And another foul ball. Lucas, the catcher, going out to say something to Gorzolani. What do you have that he can't put the bat on?
I got to think if he had it, he's thrown it by now.
Yep.
Whatever it is, he's tried it. Yeah, get on base, and maybe Lewis Brinson, the on deck hitter, can do something against the lefty.
High and away. A full count now to Bernier, and the aforementioned Lewis Brinson waiting in that on-deck circle.
If I remember right, Lewis Brinson ended the game in San Antonio with a long ball to right center field.
He did. Now the payoff pitch. Skipper's impressed by it. Jeff Anderson, yeah, that's what I like to see. Go ahead and do that. Make that guy out there work. 13th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Got him swinging. Gorzolani gets the strikeout, and that does it for the Rangers. They get the tying run to home plate, but can't do anything as they strand their 7th runner of the afternoon. So the Rangers fall to the Cleveland Indians. Rangers 17-15-1 down. We'll come back to wrap things up from Globe Life Park right after this on TXA 21.